All right, let's jump into this deep dive. You sent us a script. And, well, it's all about teaching English to beginners.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to kind of unpack it with you and see what's going on under the hood.
Absolutely.
We're going to be exploring not just what the script says, but why it's structured the way it is, and how it connects to some really cool learning science. Get ready for some aha moments.
When I first saw this script, I have to admit, I thought, okay, beginner English, this is going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But the more I dug into it, the more I realized how much thought actually went into making this thing effective.
Yeah.
It's not just about throwing a bunch of basic phrases at someone.
Right.
It's a carefully crafted journey from zero to something.
That's really cool.
Take the vocabulary building section, for example. Starts with 10 words, and they seem really simple at first. Hello, goodbye, please, and thank you. But I think the choice of these specific words is actually really clever.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was reading that part, I was like, why these words? What makes them so special?
Well, think about it. These words aren't just random vocabulary. They're the foundation for basic communication in any language, regardless of your culture or your background. Greetings, expressions of gratitude, asking for help, these are universal needs. And these words allow even a brand new learner to express them right away.
So it's less about just memorizing a bunch of random words and more about giving them the tools to actually start interacting immediately.
Exactly. And if you want to go even deeper,
Yeah.
many of these words have incredibly rich histories. Like, did you know that the word hello is thought to have evolved from a hunting call?
Really?
Yeah, signaling a friendly presence. Centuries of linguistic evolution packed into those 5 letters.
I had no idea. So a simple hello suddenly feels a lot more meaningful.
Right.
But obviously a language is more than just individual words. So how does this script build on that initial vocabulary?
That's where the everyday English conversations section comes in. And instead of just listing more vocabulary, it presents a simple dialogue that models a real-life interaction. And this shift from individual words to practical application is really key.
Right, I noticed that too. It focuses on meeting someone for the first time using introductions and basic questions. It almost reads like a little play.
Exactly, and that's intentional. By presenting the language within a clear, relatable scenario, the script makes it easier for learners to visualize and practice.
Okay.
Think about it. You're not just learning words in isolation. You're seeing how they fit together in a real conversation.
You're learning how to actually use the language, not just memorize it.
Absolutely. And the dialogue acts as what educators call a scaffold. It gives learners a structure they can build on. They can substitute different words or phrases into the existing framework, create their own variations. And this kind of structured practice is incredibly valuable, especially in the early stages of learning.
It's like giving them a blueprint for building their own conversations. That's very clever. But speaking of blueprints, one thing that stood out to me was how the script actually addressed listening comprehension. It wasn't just about speaking.
Oh, the listening practice segment is a great example of how this script goes beyond rote memorization and really focuses on understanding.
Yeah, instead of just like a dry list of words, it uses a short story about a student named John. And his daily routine, I remember thinking, this is actually a fun story.
And that's the point. By embedding the vocabulary within a story, the script makes it easier to understand and remember. Our brains are wired to connect with narratives.
Okay.
We remember information better when it's part of a story.
It makes a lot of sense. It's like the difference between reading a dictionary definition and hearing a word used in a conversation. Right. The context makes all the difference.
It really does. And there's actually a neurological basis for this. When we engage with a story, multiple areas of our brains light up. Our emotions, imagination, and memory centers all get involved. And this creates a richer, more immersive learning experience.
So the story isn't just entertainment. It's actually a powerful tool to help with comprehension and retention.
Exactly.
I never thought about it that way. But let's be honest, learning a new language can feel like a chore sometimes. So how does this script keep things fun and engaging?
Well, that's where the fun activities section comes in.
Yeah.
It incorporates a simple word association game.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
I chuckled when I got to that part. It's so simple but so clever. It encourages learners to think creatively in English without feeling like they're studying.
Exactly. And that's what makes it such an effective learning tool. By tapping into the power of play, the script reduces what educators call cognitive load.
Oh.
Basically, the mental effort required to process information. When learning feels effortless and fun, we're more likely to stick with it and absorb the material.
So incorporating playfulness isn't just about keeping things lighthearted, it's actually a strategic way to make learning more effective.
Precisely. Think about how children learn language. They play with words, they experiment, and they make mistakes without fear of judgment. And this natural playfulness is essential for unlocking our innate learning abilities. And this script, even in its simplicity, it captures that spirit.
That's fascinating. It seems like whoever created this script really thought deeply about how to make learning English not just effective, but also enjoyable.
They absolutely have. And what's even more impressive is that the principles they've used aren't limited to language learning.
Oh.
They're fundamental principles of pedagogy, the art and science of teaching,
Okay.
and cognitive science, the study of how our minds work.
So you're saying that the same strategies that make this English script effective could actually be applied to learning anything.
Absolutely. Whether you're learning a new language, a scientific concept, or a musical instrument, these principles can make the process more engaging, more effective, and ultimately more rewarding.
That's a powerful takeaway. It seems like we've stumbled onto a kind of universal blueprint for learning.
In a way, yes. And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting. By examining a seemingly simple script for beginner English learners, we've uncovered fundamental truths about how humans learn and acquire knowledge. It's like zooming out from a single pixel to see the entire picture.
Wow.
Right.
And the picture we're seeing is that the principles of effective learning are universal, applicable to any field of study, any skill we want to develop, any challenge we face.
Exactly. And that, I believe, is the true power of this deep dive. It's not just about learning English. It's about understanding the very essence of learning itself.
It's incredible to think that a deep dive into a beginner English podcast script could lead to such profound insights. This has been an amazing journey so far.
It's been my pleasure.
So to recap for our listeners, what are some of the key takeaways we've uncovered today?
Well, we've seen how important it is to build a strong foundation with core concepts, like those essential vocabulary words. We've also seen the power of connecting learning to real-world applications, like the dialogue practice in the script.
Right. And we can't forget the importance of context and storytelling. That story about John really brought the vocabulary to life and made it stick.
Absolutely. And finally, we've seen how playfulness and reducing cognitive load can make learning feel effortless and enjoyable.
It seems like a lot of thought went into crafting a script that incorporated all these elements. But I'm curious, do you think there's anything else we can learn from this script? Maybe something that goes beyond these specific techniques?
I think there is. Yeah, I think there is. I mean, think about the overall goal of this script. It's not just about teaching vocabulary or grammar. It's about empowering someone to communicate in a new language.
Yeah, that's true. Even with just a few basic words and phrases, a beginner can start to express themselves and connect with others.
Exactly. And that sense of connection is fundamental to the human experience. Language is more than just a tool for exchanging information. It's a bridge that connects us to other people, cultures, and ideas.
So, by learning English, these beginners aren't just gaining a new skill, they're opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
Precisely. They can connect with people from different backgrounds, access new information and resources, and broaden their horizons in countless ways.
That's a really inspiring way to think about it. It makes the simple English script feel like so much more than just a lesson plan.
It really does. And it highlights the incredible power of language learning. It's not just about memorizing words and rules.
Right.
It's about fostering communication, understanding, and connection across cultures and communities.
This deep dive has given me a whole new appreciation for the complexities and possibilities of language learning. We started with a beginner English script and ended up exploring some pretty profound ideas about human connection and the power of communication.
It's been an amazing journey, and I hope it encourages listeners to see learning not just as a means to an end, but as an adventure that can broaden perspectives and enrich lives.
Absolutely. So, to our listener who submitted the script, thank you for inspiring this incredible deep dive. And to everyone listening, remember that learning is a journey, not a destination. Embrace curiosity, explore new ideas, and never stop discovering the wonders that await you.
Happy learning, everyone.
Yeah, I feel like we've already uncovered so much. What else is there?
Well, think about it this way. If you were brand new to English, what would be the most valuable thing you could gain?
I guess the ability to actually talk to people.
Exactly. Even with just those 10 basic words we talked about earlier.
Right.
A beginner can start to form real connections.
That's powerful.
And, that feeling of being understood and being able to understand others, It's not just nice, it's essential to the human experience.
I like that.
It's like this language isn't just a tool, it's a bridge that connects us to the rest of humanity.
So by learning English, they're not just learning grammar and vocabulary, they're
Right.
opening up a whole new world.
Exactly. Think about it. They can connect with people from different backgrounds and cultures. They can access information and resources that were previously unavailable.
Yeah, it really broadens their horizons.
It really does. And it highlights just how powerful language learning is. It's
Yeah.
not just about the mechanics. It's about fostering communication, understanding, and connection. And that goes way beyond just memorizing words and rules.
You know what's amazing to me is we started with a simple beginner English script,
I know, right?
and we ended up talking about human connection and the very essence of what it means to learn.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. So to our listener who sent in this script, thank you so much for inspiring this incredible deep dive.
Absolutely.
And to everyone listening, I hope this inspires you to see learning in a new light, embrace curiosity, explore new ideas, and never stop discovering the amazing things that are out there waiting to be learned.
Happy learning, everyone.